I've always had an affinity for the peculiar. My home is filled with relics of the past, each telling a story, each a whisper of history. But none held my fascination like my antique doll collection. Porcelain faces, glassy eyes, meticulously crafted attire, they were perfect, capturing an eerie elegance of bygone eras. My collection grew, one doll after another, each found in forgotten corners of antique shops or through obscure online auctions. The latest edition was different. Her name was Annabelle, according to the faded tag attached to her wrist. She had curly blonde hair, a blue silk dress, and a smile that seemed oddly knowing. The seller, an elderly woman with a gaze that felt like it pierced through my soul, warned me with a cryptic smile, "Be careful with Annabelle. She has a history." I brushed it off. Superstition never sat well with me. The doll, like the others, was placed in the glass cabinet in my study, her glass eyes reflecting the dim light of the room. That night I thought I heard a faint whisper, a soft, indistinguishable murmur. I chalked it up to my imagination, the house settling perhaps, but the whispers persisted. Each night they grew louder, more distinct, weaving tales of sorrow and injustice. I would wake to find the dolls in different positions than I had left them. Annabelle in particular seemed to move the most. Her head would turn slightly, her arms would shift. Her smile, oh that chilling smile, seemed to widen. One evening as I sat in my study, a cold draft swept through the room. The lights flickered, and for a brief moment the reflection in the glass cabinet showed not my collection of dolls, but a group of children, their faces twisted in anguish. I blinked, and the vision was gone. I laughed it off nervously, blaming my overactive imagination. Sleep became a luxury. The whispers turned into cries, and I would wake to the sensation of being watched. I started avoiding my study, but the feeling of being observed followed me throughout the house. One night I decided to confront whatever was happening. Armed with a flashlight I entered the study at midnight. The air was thick with an oppressive silence. I shone the light on the cabinet, and my heart stopped. Annabelle's eyes were no longer glassy and lifeless, they were vivid, burning with an otherworldly light. The whispers turned into a chorus of children's voices, pleading, demanding justice. "Who are you?" I managed to choke out. The answer came not from one but many voices echoing around the room. "We are the lost, the forgotten, wronged and abandoned. We seek justice." Terrified, I demanded, "What do you want from me?" Annabelle's head turned sharply, her eyes locking onto mine. "Not you," she hissed. "The one who hurt us, the one who made us suffer. He is near, he must pay." In a sudden realization, I remembered the elderly woman's cryptic warning. I needed answers. I found the seller's address and visited her the next day. Her eyes held a knowing sadness when she saw me. "They've revealed themselves to you, haven't they?" she said. I nodded, unable to speak. "These dolls," she explained, "were vessels for children's spirits, children who met tragic ends at the hands of a cruel man. I acquired them, hoping to find someone who could help them find peace." "Why me?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Because you care," she said simply. "You have the heart to seek justice for them." She handed me an old journal. This belonged to their tormentor. "Find him. Make him confess. Only then will the spirits rest." Armed with the journal, I uncovered a tale of horror, of an old caretaker who abused and murdered the children in his care. His cruelty knew no bounds, and the dolls were his twisted trophies. The journal provided clues to his current whereabouts, a decrepit house on the outskirts of town. Confronting him was the most terrifying experience of my life. The old man, now feeble but still holding an air of menace, denied everything until I showed him the dolls. The spirits, their anger palpable, filled the room, their whispers a cacophony of sorrow and rage. The old man broke down, confessing his sins, pleading for mercy, but the spirits were unforgiving. In a final horrifying moment, they consumed him, leaving nothing but silence. Back home, the dolls were once again lifeless, their expressions peaceful. The whispers ceased, and a sense of calm settled over the house. The children had found their justice, their peace. I still collect dolls, but now I listen closely to their stories, ensuring that each one finds a home where they are cherished, not tormented. And every night, I make sure to whisper a promise to them. You are safe here. You are loved, never forgotten.